Hello everyone, my name is Cody, and this is going to be a medium-range to fairly long video on the Motherland Party for America as proposed by the Cedars of Russia series of books. There's also a Motherland Party in the Middle East, and search them up on YouTube under the Motherland Party or Motherland Party, and you will find them. It is a Russian Middle Eastern woman talking about the Motherland Party for rights in the Middle East. And the Motherland Party in Russia has been able to change laws and put laws into place which allows the giving of free land, at least 2.2 acres to a little more than that, for each family to grow their own produce on and provide produce for the entire nation and also to birth children on. It is their family estate or their ancestral home, in a place where they may have the inheritance of and to pass on to their children for the future. And here is my proposition of this Motherland Party here in America. We are in the times of the great natural creators. Children and people of every faith wanting to touch the earth and to have their own little piece of a motherland. Technology has failed in many instances, and systems fail, only to bequeath us the pollution from their own design, many times hurting people along the way. In these times there are people, and especially children, whose thoughts and souls yearn for a natural creation of things. Not everyone, but many, who compose of our nation. They are carried away and grounded in life, and useful, productive thoughts come to earth by them, and their thoughts are of joy, just as it was with our forebears and the first peoples. It is their very birth in a natural environment which speeds up their thoughts. Their thoughts will move very quickly, and an advanced level of mental development is reached from the very beginning, and useful achievements will come to us through those who have a good feeling of the world, and of the earth, and of a good feeling of purpose, and of life. It is our duty, the duty of everyone, to safeguard earth and our children from the postulates of various sciences and prophets of the world, merely to see to it that each child can have for him and her a dimension of love, a unique place in nature where information can reach to the level of their feelings, directly and with no intermediaries, suggestions of what is or isn't true. All other areas of human relation have derived from this, whether in stealing from it or in trying to give back even just a particle of the true economy. And some have tried, and won out amongst our minds and hearts successfully. Anastasia and Vladimir Magray, in their documentary series of books, The Cedars of Russia, will serve as a template, a prime example of the primary sources in life of love, joy, purity of thought, and conscious awareness. All very necessary things for a developing country. Their message to the world is simple. Give each child and each family wanting to conceive children their own plot of family land to provide food for themselves and for the nation as a whole. Happiness is for those by way of their own choosing to create a dimension of love in nature, even amidst cities, that will touch the hearts of people nearby them or far into the future. There may be small food forests and sugar pine alleys lining streets, where people of the now and of the future may glean their thoughts and learn the wisdom that nature has to offer, and to have a better health. For those wanting to establish families, at least 2.5 acres should be afforded them in creating a dimension of love for their children and their descendants. Many varieties of plants and berries, trees and herbs will be grown here, as well as a family tree and cereal grains, and a house will be built. There will also be a pond, and bees, and animals of one's choosing. These will be communities for the birthing of children into the world, and to provide the highest quality goods for the whole country on these, the family estates, also known as the ancestral home. Festivals and gatherings for those seeking their soulmates and effective rites for maintaining the energy of love in families forever will be made available to everyone. There will also be an all-earth holiday or Gardener's Day, on July 23rd, celebrating all people who care for the planet. These are the foundations for the People's Motherland Party here in America. We have been inspired by acts of similar groups around the world, drawing upon their inspiration from life and the Ringing Cedars of Russia books by author Vladimir Maigret. These families will feed the rest of the entire country, and those in the cities will be able to live a little easier, tasting from the most health-giving food grown in America's history. Author Vladimir Maigret recently won Laureate of Guzi Peace Prize International for the world-changing ideas and information in his books. Russia and other countries have already started on the path of development as mentioned here, and it has been successful. And some, such as the United States of America, are just now catching on to this national idea. You may go and visit Vladimir Maigret's website at www.themegre.com. And a few of us know about the ancient Vedic civilization, as known in India, found in India, with their ancient stories and sciences of how to heal people and the planet. But not everyone knows that an ancient Vedic civilization spanned the entire earth at a time. This constitutes ancient history, and some researchers with material on and off the internet have confirmed this. This is our past. Anastasia, the main speaker in Vladimir Maigret's documentary series of books, The Ringing Cedars of Russia, speaks in the series about the ancient Vedic Rus, or Vedrus civilization, and slowly gives us their history and its rebirth in the present day, and its practical uses for us now. She says that herself and all people from Europe, parts of the Middle East, and Russia are of the Vedic Rus civilization, as well as those who recently settled America. These are the original Proto-Indo-European people that scientists have tried to discover the history of for centuries. And for many of us, they are our forebears. Their knowledge of the natural world and of the universe was detailed and vast, like all other Vedic nations of the world, including, for one, the Mayans. And they have a direct connection to the earth. They, our forebears, were advanced in many things, including gardening, psychology, astronomy, and in preserving the energy of love and families forever. This is precisely where Anastasia's information leads up to of her sayings in these books about hidden history and our lives today. Giving back the important parts of the Vedrus history and knowledge to the people today so that we can learn from and avoid some of the mistakes they made and heal the earth and man's relationships worldwide. The crux of this movement and resulting Motherland Party is at least 1 hectare, about 2.5 acres of land for each family wishing to birth children, primarily in the countryside, and it is inspired by our Vedic forebears and by the world needs today. This feeds the family and the rest of the nation with the freshest produce grown, which is of the highest quality anywhere. Some call this a kin's domain or family estate, and definitely the ancestral home. Information on how to improve cities is given by Anastasia as well, and also information on how to clean up all radioactive waste and storage on the planet. These will be made available to the Motherland Party and those wishing to take part in a new nation. A beautiful future for our nation. A technique of seed planting and interaction with plants is given which can cure a person of any and all disease, regardless of its nature, and also greatly enhances the consciousness and well-being of a person. These statements may be tested, as mentioned in the books, by the FDA or similar independent organization. Festivals to help people find their soulmates or their other half will be made available to everyone, and the opportunity to be given their family plot of land. Also, simple and effective rites for maintaining the energy of love in families forever will be made available to everyone. A word about this. Our Vedic Rus forebears understood that the energy of love was the ultimate gift from their Creator, and treated it as another member of the family when it came to them. This was usually when a young couple, your son or daughter, met their soulmate and they fell in love. From here, preparation was made for the couple to look for their own land on which to start a family. They would prepare the land for events to come, dig a well, chart the direction of wind currents, note where the sun and moon rose, the patterns of the rain and snow as they fell. This would last some time. A wedding would take place here on their land, which shaped the entire future to come, and neighbors would help to plant seeds and trees of different kinds, as well as providing animals the couple chose. Conception of a child would not happen till later. A few days would go by first to prepare. Conception was primarily spiritual and was an understanding of what is co-creative, mental and physical together, as the crux of inspirational energies would come together, taking form as this new oasis created by the momentum of their love and their design. They would be found together at the right time, and for the birth of a new creation, of a child. Children born in this way have a better feeling of the world, are healthier, and are given everything from the very beginning. Birth was given in birthing tubs in the water, and little to no pain occurred, but instead pleasant sensations, as many women will attest to today in learning how to give conscious water birthing at home. This can also be researched, and courses are given even today, particularly for this purpose. The mother and father were the only ones allowed inside the birthing room, which occurred at home. Different adaptations for other but associated rites are given in the Ringing Cedars of Russia books. The word rite, as in rites of love, should be translated as intelligent, logical acts. By request or upon payment to the estate owners in question, a small fractionalized particle of radioactive material can be placed, if desired, at least 9 meters deep under the domain. This is for the deconcentration of nuclear material worldwide in an effective effort to save the planet from eventual catastrophe, while enhancing the fertility of the estate from the depth of 9 meters deep to render the nuclear particle harmless and even beneficial. This plan of action was thought up and tested by Vladimir Magray's and Anastasia's son, Vladimir Jr., who was born on his family estate, or ancestral home, his dimension of love in the Siberian taiga forest with his mother Anastasia. This is a harmless procedure that will save our planet from the super-collected hotspots of radioactive material worldwide, creating instead fertile cool zones, where the radioactive material in small particles is placed 9 meters deep, upon payment to or request of the owners of the estates. A technique of seed planting, as mentioned earlier, will be provided to all people in which information of the seed planter's body and disease is embedded directly into the seeds, while standing where they wish to plant on their plot of land. This time frame of roughly 14 to 15 minutes, all possible information is satiated into the seeds from the person. This actually allows the plants to pull from the earth and the air substances that correlate to the specific person's disease or imbalance. Eating such fruits will cure any and all disease, and greatly enhance the well-being and consciousness of the gardeners interacting with their plants. We offer ancient ways of interacting with plants that will greatly enhance the well-being and conscious awareness of the gardeners, as well as curing them of all disease. We will be working with the FDA and any other organizations improving these procedures and their benefits. All of this information comes from either Anastasia or her son, Vladimir Jr., and has been confirmed by them and the users of this information. Having been birthed on their family estate, or their dimension of love, Anastasia and Vladimir Jr. have access to a greatly accelerated speed of thought, and thus have given themselves to solving all of the problems that face society as a whole today, and for creating a beautiful way of life for people in cities and for people on their family estates. Vladimir Magray has been crucial in the search to verify these claims, and others, and continues to do so today, helping to give people a new hope the world over. A cure for telegony will be provided to all people. The paternal impression phenomenon, or telegony, is when information from previous sexual relationships is passed on to the child conceived in a current relationship. Such information is exchanged and leads to possibly undesired influences in the child's birth and development. Anastasia has given to people a means by which to clean the information from previous undesired relationships, and to start anew to birth a child of your own imagining and of your own creation. All proposals here may be thought over and tested by any individual or group, and any who are interested in reading the Ringing Series of Russia documentary series of books for this information may order them from the author's website at vmegre.com. Look for a kin's domain or family estate group near you, or start your own. This is a proposal for the Motherland Party in America by one reader of the Ringing Series of Russia series of books. Contact me at my YouTube account or at my email address, kodybatill@hotmail.com. There's a plot of land waiting for your contact and love today. We will see the birth of a marvelous future, and our children will inherit a garden paradise. Here's a succinct update of what system could be used to fund the building of family estates in America. We require a Motherland Party to let the option of family estate be known to the majority of the population, and then a pure-minded association of entrepreneurs so as to have friends in the building of kin's domains and the selling of their produce and other homemade products. A line of credit is pulled from all wholesale companies, including large agribusiness corporations who will willingly involve themselves in this project, to support the building of kin's domains. The wholesale companies price the produce sold from kin's domains and other items made at a marked up price, and becomes the nation's new source of organic produce. Money is pulled from the wholesale companies who made money, and the investors and banks make their profit and continue to help build kin's domains. Banks would become part of a wholesale company, sharing and giving credit to build kin's domains and in making profit from wholesales. No taxes permitted on the kin's domains. Both the families, the wholesale companies, and banks make a lot of money if, say, 10% have these kin's domains, although the percentages could be much greater. Question: would it even be possible to also pull money from the government? Maybe we won't need to. Either way, we need a Motherland Party to air the ideas in the books in an independently stated way, but still connected with the book's ideas. I will draft up pamphlets to condense this information and to pass them out to people. Here's some information on how this movement has affected Russia and about before this movement and the state of the Russian country that made this movement and the ideas in these books even more viable and more attractive. In 1999, which was before this movement really struck the government there, 35 million small family plots produce 90% of Russia's potatoes, 77% of vegetables, 87% of fruits, 59% of meat, and 49% of milk. Way to go, people. And this is all information from another independent researcher. And since 1999, it seems things have only gotten better when it comes to small-scale agriculture in Russia. A Russian family by their dacha, or family plot. In 2003, the Russian president signed into law a further Private Garden Plot Act, enabling Russian citizens to receive free of charge from the state plots of land in private inheritable ownership. Sizes of the plots differ by region but are between 1 and 3 hectares each. 1 hectare equals 2.2 acres. Produce grown on these plots is not subject to taxation. A further subsequent law to facilitate the acquisition of land for gardening was passed in June 2006, according to a footnote in Who Are We by Vladimir Magray, page 42. What other country raises so much of their food in such sustainable, organic, and non-GMO modes of production? While the European Union is setting the stage for agribusiness takeovers of major market share from traditional peasant farmers in places like Poland, Russia seems to be one of the few countries on the global stage moving to clearly and sustainable in a healthy direction. And while organic farming gets a lot of media attention in North America, the fraction of agricultural land actually under organic cultivation is minuscule at 0.6%. The European Union is a bit better at 4%. In spite of the minimal land area under organic cultivation, the movement for healthy agriculture in North America is under increasing siege by government regulators. So what's behind this wonderful new revival of Russian peasant agriculture? Could it be as simple as one person, Anastasia, a 40-year-old woman from Siberia who befriended a traveling Russian entrepreneur? Based on material Anastasia gave him, that entrepreneur, Vladimir Magray, has published 9 books, which is now 10, which have become underground bestsellers in Russia and have now sold over 20 million copies has sold over 10 million copies in over 20 different countries. So it's becoming big. One of Anastasia's imaginations, which Maigret describes in considerable detail, is a future in which more and more people live on small 1-hectare homesteads, which she calls kinsdomains. There they cultivate the earth to grow trees and raise vegetables and fruits of exceptional nutritional value, with enough surplus to sell. Anastasia imagines a national culture based on simple rural life and eco-villages like these, in which values of health, love, truth, freedom, and beauty take precedence. Eventually, she sees this leading to a booming business in ecotourism as people from all over the world want to come to Russia and catch with their own eyes a glimpse of what humanity and the world can become. Anastasia, however, is not just a simple peasant woman. In fact, she seems to be something of a spiritual adept in ancient Vedic tradition. In addition to her suggestions for agriculture and nutrition, she shares with the author Vladimir Maigret insights on subjects as diverse as statecraft and the education of children. The books are an enjoyable and educational read, though it's sometimes tiresome to wade through Maigret's personal struggles with the material, and I don't think there's anything I've seen yet that quite compares with what Anastasia has put before us in these few slim volumes. She describes her mission as helping people find their way through the dark forces window of time, and that's something we could sure use some help with. Thanks, Anastasia. And that was all an excerpt from an independent researcher's accumulation of this information, and only part of it. There's far more information that she actually gave in her article. And so, there's also many other benefits that can come with this movement, as well as kinsdomains and family estates for prisons, whereas there's generally a lot of land allocated around these prisons outside of the fences, and new fences and boundaries could be set up, and those inmates who are appropriate and who ask for such an option can be given these books and educated on the ideas of family estates so that they may build their own small houses within these boundaries and to plant their gardens of a wide variety of fruits, to have their own 2.5 acres or 2.2 acres, and they'll be planting the seeds in this exceptionally beneficial way that has been given to us by Anastasia, which takes in information of the seed planter, and the fruits grown can change the well-being, health, and consciousness of those eating from the fruits. And we send people to prisons not to punish them, but to change their consciousness and their worldview. And no superior or greater way has been discovered than what is given here to allow such a thing to happen. Also, people coming back from service in the military who have reached a certain position, which is yet to be determined what position that is, should be given right away their own plot of motherland, their own family estate, to start their own family on for the birthing of their children and to benefit the country and their family as a whole. And it is true freedom on this land without taxation. It is their family domain. Also, some more information on telegony for those who did not completely understand or are not fully believing. Scientific research was done on telegony in the 1800s or early 1900s, and it was first discovered by them when they bred a thoroughbred mare or a horse with a zebra. And of course, no offspring occurred because they're two separate species. But when that same identical horse who they bred with the zebra, they bred with another horse, the child and offspring came out with black and white stripes, faint black and white stripes. And so invisible information was passed on through the sexual act of the zebra and the horse. And this has been confirmed in many, many mounting documented cases of humans, and is thought and widely known to affect everyone. And a cure has been given by Anastasia, which may be read about in the books. And it is simple. I'll give it right away. It is simple as coming together on these family domain plots of land to dream of starting your family and to create the entire paradise around you with your own hands, with you and your intended, your soulmate. And this is enough to actually reset the information of previous sexual relationships. And this could be scientifically verified, I'm sure. And she also speaks about how our forebears of the ancient Vedrus civilization, the wise men of those times, in a wise men academy and star researching academy, like a Stonehenge, which marks the different horizon events of the stars and the moon and the sun, this academy, ancient academy of Arkham, which is now an archaeological site in the Ural steppes, southern Ural steppes of Russia, of southern Russia. And many scientists are extremely excited about the discoveries there and the complexity and seeming advancedness of our forebears, and Anastasia and one of her grandfathers, which her grandfathers are descendants of a line of Egyptian priests who now live in Russia, spoke about the history that they knew, since they have safeguarded their history and their knowledge for a long time in their family, that the wise men there, specific wise men there at the study of Arkham at this university, ancient University of Arkham, actually came up with a cure for telegony in those times, and it was done in a different way. But there are now 2 different cures for telegony that we know of to cure people of previous sexual relationships, so that they can actually conceive a child of their own information and in a way that they desire, to have happy children who are smart and intelligent and of one's own dreams for their children. And so this is all beneficial and true information, as one can research for themselves, do any independent researching you would like, as well as reading the books, which I advise for everybody, especially mothers, future mothers, and men who would like to birth children, and also people of scientific circles, and religious circles, and academic circles, and historical circles, because all such information is given in these books by these knowledgeable people who have stored a lot of information about history in the Siberian taiga forest, who have come out to people, chose to come out to people through these books. This is an independent Motherlands party who, though independent, is inspired by the ideas in these books to establish an effective national idea to save the world of wars, pollution, crime, and hunger across the entire world and for any given nation. As I said, this idea is already in effect in Russia and is seeing the way of over 200 of these eco-settlements for family domains in Russia, where people are now birthing children and providing produce for their country. And so this is a marvelous way of being, and I'm happy to give this message to others, and I'm searching for help in perfecting this message and to bring together those who would like to further this cause. So thank you very much. Enjoy your thoughts. Please look up other videos on this movement, the Ringing Cedars of Russia and Vladimir Magray, on YouTube, especially video Creation and video Vladimir is laureate of Guzzi Peace Prize 2010 International. Those are 2 very good educational videos on the books and of this vibrant movement. Thank you, and enjoy your thoughts. Goodbye.